Good morning, everybody. It's Anthony Beyond from Mission Start Podcast, and it is another episode, another week of Mission Start Podcast, episode 96, the BlizzCon edition. If you're not watching this, I'm pretty sure if you're a big fan of Blizzard games, you're watching them right now. But nonetheless, for everybody else, welcome to the show. And for those who are watching on YouTube or listening to the audio tunes, welcome to the show. Anyways, with me today, this morning, the Robin to my Batman, the photographer to my to my Superman, Greg Dietz.
Were you looking for more comic book superhero sidekick situations?
Pretty much.
I mean, you could have said Speedy to my Arrow, or you could have said fuck, I can't think of any Marvel ones. You know, there aren't many sidekicks in Marvel. Did you know that? That's a good
point.
Like, if there are sidekicks, like, it's a team up situation.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You got sidekicks. I think are not as often used anymore.
Hold on, I'm gonna look that up while you do your thing next.
Well, guys, welcome to the show. A lot of topics this week. Obviously, the big news coming from the past 24 hours have been the BlizzCon announcements. Also, you know, there's some other big news, including the massive leak of all the Street Fighter characters and the PC beta that was data mined, as well as other things happening this week. Also, if I seem distracted, it's because I'm in a tournament, so just bear that in mind. So anyways, let's begin the show. So where to begin? Okay, let's start on something I think you and I love, but very, very curious about. So there was, okay, so it might have been a leak. This might have been something that that was, I guess, not intended to show. But anyways, there's a new Mass Effect trailer. Use an array of different images in terms of, like, you know, space exploration, but like more like the 1980s, you know, spaceship, old footage of like astronauts going to space, and it's all being, you know, done in a monologue with Jennifer Hale. And at the very end of the trailer, like, you know, she says, you know, her name, you know, this is Commander Shepard. And this is for the new game, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Right. So I don't know if you know this. I imagine you do, Anthony. But for anybody listening who doesn't know this, Andromeda takes place long after 3. Like 100 years or some shit like that.
I see. And
if you remember, a lot of what is shown, or a lot of what is like happens in the game, is like, you do like, you remember that whole scene where it's like, this is Commander Shepard and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. I imagine that will still be a thing.
That's true. I mean, like, it could. All we can know is that maybe that, you know, this story. I mean, like, as the story progressed after Mass Effect 3, maybe it's just an audio recording of, like, you know, Commander Shepard saying, you know, that line, or maybe it's like, you know, some stuff that she or she might have left.
That's exactly what it is. That's, I mean, that 100%. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that shit. Like, that is 100% what it is. Commander Shepard. Doesn't matter what your Shepard looks like, or the voice you... no, I think it's just 2 voices. Yeah. Well, absolutely, like, it's a recording. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think that what the game will be like is not so much that you're living in his or her footsteps. I think it's that there's just remnant of, like, what Shepard did and what he sacrificed.
Yeah. That
at some point it was discovered, or people put it into place, that he sacrificed Shepard sacrificed themselves. Because you can play as a female or male, and I'm just like, bah, 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 bah. But yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea for a game, and I think we talked about this during the E3 coverage, but when you have a character that is how do I put this? Notorious for. I'm trying to figure out how to say this correctly because my brain's just like, it just stopped. Point is, Andromeda's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. I have a really strong feeling about it. People want to sit there and hate the third game's ending. They can fuck themselves. I've gone in nauseum about how good that ending actually is.
Right.
And I know that that's going to be a big. I'm just calling it now. People will be like, I'm not fucking playing it because of Mass Effect 3.
No.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as Assassin's Creed 3. I'll just say
it's not bad at all. Like, that's the problem with it. Like,
yeah.
People want to say that it's bad in general, and I'm starting to say, like, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be much worse, and we've seen it.
Yeah. Well, this trailer, first off, shows nothing but audio.
Yeah.
It kind of shows what looks like a ship or a new Mass Effect relay or a new Citadel. I don't honestly know.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say what this game's going to be about. It's hard to say what's going to happen in it. It's hard to say like anything about it because it takes place so far in the future of the future that the future that we already know. That it's, who's going to be the new threat? Is it going to be, like, are there still Reapers around? Like, is that still a thing?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, like, there's definitely some questions that need to be answered. I think many people, and I saw this on the thread, is that many people were kind of like, wait, didn't Shepard die in the third game?
Because people aren't understanding that it's just recording.
Yeah. It could very well be. I do not see them like.
Well, two things I'll say about the trailer that tell me it's a recording. Not one time does it sound like Shepard's talking in the present tense. Shepard is talking in the past tense. Like, you will hear this and know of our triumphs. Like, shit like that. Like, if this is a thing, if this is how they're really putting Andromeda out there immediately, I'm saying that the whole game is going to be about figuring out something that Shepard did or following in Shepard's footsteps. Maybe Ashley had a kid, or there was a kid in general that he might have.
Well,
or like a family.
That could very be the possibility because, in the Mass Effect, I'd say, not say trailer, but like in the mythos of the game series, like you had an option of a romantic relationship with either any of the women characters in the game, or male if you're male. So the possibility of like Shepard's kid being.
I say
in the
he
game,
because I had a he character, so that's why I do he.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I had he too as well.
Then let's just say he for the sake of the conversation.
But yeah, like in terms of it'll be very odd to have Shepard back,
Well, yeah, it would be very strange, especially since the fact that they've told us, BioWare has explicitly told the fans. I don't remember if this is at E3 or not, but it takes place in the distant future to the Mass Effect we already know. Not our distant future, but their distant future. So for what I've heard, or what I've read, is it's about 100 years into the future, which is really fucking cool for the idea of this sci-fi, what's the word I just had it in my head, epic. And it is an epic, it's expansive story with multiple characters, multiple things going on. I'm very, very excited for it. I'm interested to know, like, I'm definitely, you know me, I'm not that type of person that's like, well, don't tell me anything about it because I don't want spoilers leading up to it. Because I just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, the second I find out anything, I'm gonna be like, ooh, get in my butthole right now. Get it.
Very, very descriptive thing there. So yeah, that was interesting. I saw it this morning and I was like, wow. So.
Yeah, I didn't see it until you sent it to me. You're like, watch this for the podcast. I was like, all right.
So, okay, going from Mass Effect to a game that, you know, I've been playing the crap out of, like, when it came out, and that is Street Fighter V.
I knew you couldn't wait to get to this.
So,
I was like, the second you sent me that list, I was like, ugh, we're going to talk about this now.
Hey.
I'm joking.
So here's the thing about it. All right, so Street Fighter V, the beta for it was last weekend. It came out for PC beta and console. I played the crap out of it. I played the console and PC versions, and it was a lot of fun. So the thing about it is that, oh shit, sorry. So the thing about it is that, while it was great for the PC crowd to get, what ended up happening is they data mined the game. Like, they able to copy the entire files of the game, and able to look in the game and to see what's in the innards, and did decode what was in there. So because of that, they managed to find everything, including all the characters, in terms of, like, you know, the audio file of, like, the announcer saying the name, some of the events that they're going to be associated with, called a Capcom Network. But, like, yeah, basically it just led into a massive leak to confirm that, you know, all the characters that they're planning to bring in the next, you know, couple months, has been confirmed. And I just died. So
I know that we here at Mission Start like to fancy ourselves as game journalists.
Yeah.
And we have to report on the news, and the news today is that data miners went and ruined fucking cool information for a game that you could have learned at a different point in time. I'm getting real sick of these people.
Like, here's the thing too, like, is it really their fault, or is it Capcom's fault for not really, like, you know, making sure that their stuff is secure?
If you want to point blame for a leak, you can absolutely point blame it at Capcom. Maybe they should have taken bigger precautions into the situation. But why does this thing need to happen?
I mean, nobody's asking for it, but, like, the thing is, though, is, like, what's stopping them?
Isn't it more entertaining, just throwing this out here, isn't it more entertaining to have something kind of sprung on you?
I mean, yeah.
When it comes...
Yeah, I was going to say, like, don't get me wrong, I think that, hang on. Oop. Sorry.
Stop playing Skull, girls!
I'm in a tournament, damn it. It's on your face anyways. I was going to say, like, I agree. I think having that announcement, that excitement, that, you know, seeing who the next character is going to be is, you know, I love it. Like, the last character I was pretty excited for was Karen, when she was announced at Tokyo Game Show this year. Because, like, you know, we haven't seen her in a long time, and it was great to see her again. And then, like, in the announcement, everybody went hype for it. It was great. So, like, I get that.
It's like I talk about how Anthony, how, like, I hate how people react to spoilers. I think it's bullshit that people get super angry when something is spoiled for them. And that's why I say, like, don't worry about spoilers. If something's spoiled for you, don't fucking worry about it. Who the fuck cares? Right. You know, you're experiencing something for the sake of experiencing it. Having something spoiled isn't the end of the thing. That being said, I don't spoil things for anybody because for that explicit reason that enjoying something for the first time is much more it's much more satisfactory than being just told.
Right.
And I think that when data miners or people intentionally trying to find leaks do this kind of stuff, it takes away from that awesome moment that you have watching that gaming tournament and Capcom comes out, or a guy from Capcom comes out and goes, "We have a surprise for you," and then boom, it's like this character you fucking love. Like, that kind of thing is so much more fun and cool, and I just don't understand the whole concept of data mining. Also, recently, data miners fucked up big time. with Destiny. I think we talked about this, where they went and data mined the new DLC stuff for the for the skins and the dancing and shit like that, the Eververse microtransactions. I couldn't think of the word microtransactions.
Right.
And when they data mined it, they found all this extra shit that like was just leftover code that, you know, I'm sure the developers tried to fucking delete but couldn't for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they were like, uh-oh, the consumables, uh-oh, buffs. And Destiny had to come out and be like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. That is not what this is. Like, we told you we're not doing this, so why do you think we're doing it?
Right.
And it just... Every time I hear about a data miner doing something, do I think it's cool that that you're excited about the characters that were announced through the data mine? Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's rad that you're excited for these characters.
Yeah.
I think that anybody being excited for something that's coming out is great.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is a story about data miners getting, hacking through a system, through a beta, and discovering some stuff that Capcom was trying to hide.
Yeah.
And that is what I don't stand for. It's so frustrating whenever I hear one of these stories, because I know what the developers are going through. They're now scrambling, trying to fucking figure out a way to either announce it quickly, so that way it's not,
Here's how it's gonna go down. So basically, the way it's gonna go down for the next couple months is that Ono is still gonna go out to these trade shows and then still gonna announce it even at the events. Because what we know is the characters, but what we don't know is how they look and play. So that's still a part of the aspect where we don't know exactly what they're gonna be. We know the characters from previous iterations of the games, but like we don't know exactly how exactly they've been changed over time. For instance, like I can say like Karen, like example. Karen, her main stuff that she used to do, her B&B, like her stuff that she does her combos with, you can't activate that until you have V-Trigger or enough meter built up so you can activate it. And what she's given is still pretty good, but it's not what she used to have in alpha. Or say like Sim, like I showed a minute ago. Like Sim is now more of a active, offensive character than a kind of defensive character, just poke you from a long distance. So like, we know who these characters are, but we just don't know what they look like and what they are, the gameplay wise. What I've seen, like each character that we've seen that has returning has looked vastly different than their counterpart in SF4 or in previous iterations of the same character. So I mean, I think people will still get hyped just to see what the character is. It does suck the fact that all the characters are released now that the hype is kind of taken out. Now it's just a matter of who's coming out when and where. But like, it sucks. Data miners have been on the news this late, especially another story I didn't bring up was that they didn't mind the Binding of Isaac new game Afterbirth, and they discovered like part of their content was not in the game, and thought it was a direct response from Edmund because he doesn't like data miners. Turns out it turns out a launch glitch, which it was. But like, it sucks. I'm not sure what you would do as a publisher or as a game developer. Would you make sure?
Well, it now comes down to a thing of do you decide to figure out a way to release the information, or do you hold back and not do anything about it? There have been situations in the past where data miners or hackers got into the system and figured out information, and the tactic that was taken by the company itself was to not do anything, to literally just let the internet speculate, because at that point it's still just speculation. Sure, you can show the proof that this was in the data mine, but at the end of the day, is that what is that what's really there? You have to take what data miners find with a grain of salt, because it could be absolute bullshit.
Agreed.
And but as the company itself, you have to try to figure that out, and that's a fucking headache.
Yeah.
it is a headache trying to be like, okay, so now what, guys? What do we do now?
Yeah,
you don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, like no company should, but we live in a day and age where getting access to games or the tools to access something is much easier now than it was back then. You know.
Sure, it's just like it's like I complain about, like, people are like, there's more stupid people now in the world, and I go, no, just everyone has a soapbox now, so now it's the stupid is now more in your face. Trust me, the amount of people in the world to the amount of stupid people in the world hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Just that they're louder now. That's it.
Definitely.
And that's the same thing with everything in this world. Everyone has access to so much fucking stuff that it's borderline impossible to not see this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what frustrates me so goddamn much. It's that old adage, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. Definitely. I don't know.
So.
I mean, like, and there's no way to really kind of restrict people from doing it.
No, there's not, unfortunately.
So, yeah. It is.
It's like I said, we're gonna report on it when it happens. We're gonna tell you what the leak was.
Mm-hmm.
But like Funhouse, when they do the they talk about all the time. Like recently, there was a bunch of gameplay leak of Fallout 4, and all of a sudden now people are like, oh, well, I don't know if I want the game. It's like, what?
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's just bullshit. Like, if anyone's listening to this podcast who is into this stuff, like, we'll let you know that there was, but I think from here on out we should take the Funhouse route and not link the stuff.
Oh yeah.
We need to let these people know that, yes, we know you're doing it, but we're not giving you any kind of attention other than this.
Yep, definitely.
So it's just just nonsense, man. Like, I mean, I think it's great that, like, you're excited about characters coming to Street Fighter 4, and I'm sure that's exactly what you wanted this conversation to be about. But A, I don't know much about Street Fighter 4, and B, this is what I got from the story, was that data miners were assholes to Capcom.
Yeah, that's true. And they've been in other games in terms of, like, hacking other games as of late. So data miners.
Oh, absolutely.
Data miners have definitely been taking a spotlight for the past week. Side note.
Unfortunately.
Side note. So you know what's funny? Because when I was watching the BlizzCon coverage, I realized next week, Monday and Tuesday, are going to be ridiculous because, like, in the span of those 24 hours, we're going to get StarCraft 2: Legacy of the Void, Fallout 4, and the new Tomb Raider within Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Dude, yeah, the end of October and most of November are hell on gamers, especially people who want to review things.
Oh my god!
So like right now,
yes,
I've decided I'm not doing a Halo 5 review. Everyone's put a review out. I'm actually going to do a different article. I'm going to do a objectively what Halo 5 gets wrong and what it gets right.
Yeah.
Objectively.
Yeah.
This is no way, shape, or form my opinion. I guess it kind of is, but it's not an opinion to the extent, like, if it's something tasteful that I didn't like, that's different. If I don't like how a gun shoots, that's not going in. More so to the fact that, like, how the story is told and what they use to tell the story, how it interacts with certain players, like shit like that is what I'm going to talk about. But I'm going to try to do an actual review for Tomb Raider, or Rise of the Tomb Raider, but we'll see how that works out too. So
right.
But I definitely want to do something for Halo 5. I'm also going to try to do a video that does, like, the funniest moments that I've captured.
Nice. It's just crazy when I found it out, like, recently. It's like, oh shit, you're told. Yeah, fuck. So yeah. What was gonna say? Okay, so going from PC beta fallings of data miners to a company that actually we can blame something on. So, as we reported the past couple shows, Arkham Knight on PC had not been a great game. That game has been has been very well on consoles. On the PC version, it has been not the greatest, glitches galore, and they've been trying to patch and fix it. The company I'm talking about is WB and Rocksteady. And we said prior that the company who did port the PC version of MKX with WB was also working on this port as well, and that, if history serves me right, the PC version of MKX was not the greatest either. So, even with the patches they put out, the game's still glitchy, it's still buggy, and as of, I believe, a couple days ago, WB has announced that any refunds that you want for this game for the PC version will extend to the end of this year. So, yeah.
There's two things into it. Game wasn't built for PC. Period.
Yeah.
People may argue that, oh, it's not that hard to port a game from the console to PC. It is if it was never intended to be on PC. This is why Halo 3 was never on PC. And many other games I can fucking spout off real quick. Now the problem with the game, or the reason that it has such a fucking bad situation going on with it, is simply because Rocksteady fucking outsourced their porting team to a known terrible fucking porting company. So I blame Rocksteady on this one wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I don't think WB Games necessarily could be at fault for this, because they're just the publisher. They're just the ones that throw money at it and then make sure that it gets out to the different markets that it needs to. I think it's excellent that they're doing the refund to the end of the year, because if a broken game is broken, you don't want it.
Yeah. And we've seen broken games before. Like, this is nothing new. And this is something that many gamers have been annoyed by, about these games coming broken and not fixed or completed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, what was it? Like, there'll be some games where, like,
Assassin's Creed Unity?
Yes. Like, there were some games that were so broken, like, you can't even play the game. And not to mention, like, the day one patches that were, like, I think the most absurd one I heard was, like, around 10 gigs. Or something.
Oh, that was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah.
It was, like, 9 point something gigs, and the game itself was only 7.
Oh, my God. It was ridiculous. It was dumb. It was dumb. So, I don't know. I mean,
It's because the game itself, like, if you play it on PS4 or Xbox One, fantastic.
Right.
Had no issues.
Right.
And it is a wonderful game. Like, sure the ending's a little ho-hum, but, respectively, every fucking Arkham game has been ho-hum with the ending. Arguably, anyway. Yeah. But, it's just... The world we live in today, and this is something I'm going to get into when we talk about the World of Warcraft thing that you put up in there, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
And I talked about this on my podcast, or my stream, not my podcast. I talked about this on my stream.
You have a podcast?
Shut up, get out of here. One of the things about it that I think is really interesting about the world we live in today is that investors could give two shits. Could even give two shits about how many units you sell. It is all about time played. Much like how YouTube went from a views situation to getting paid, now to a how much or how many minutes you're getting watched. So are games. This is why games are being released with a little bit of content, and then they're promising more in the future, because they want you to buy the game and then keep coming back.
Yeah, it's
investors.
Yeah.
Well, investors love things like Destiny, because they see, like, we have a 10-year plan for it. Hold on, tell me more. Just rub the tip. It is.
God damn, it's too lewd for this shit. You're gonna get us banned.
Whoa, Lyrical Danny Jan came in at the right time. They really want your product to last for years.
Right.
They have absolutely no interest in if your game can sell a certain amount of copies. This is why Rise of the Tomb Raider getting made in at all is a fucking feat in itself. Definitely. Because and I know that there's going to be a tacked on multiplayer like there was in the first game, and it might be a little bit more fleshed out, but overall it doesn't matter to the investors, and the publishers want to appease the investors for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And it's not brain rocket surgery? Yeah, rocket surgery.
Rocket science. I don't know, whatever.
I like rocket surgery. So this is why, like, a lot of games are either being rushed out the door because they're like, fuck it, we can patch it. There's also the whole, like, people were blaming it on, what was it, pre-orders? But at the same time, like, pre-orders are not the only issue. This is another issue that we have to deal with.
Yeah, pre-orders.
This is why games are being released way the fuck too early. I was ecstatic to find out that Battleborn was being delayed till May.
Yeah,
like, people were, oh man, I really wanted to play that. And this is the third time it's gotten delayed. Keep delaying it if the game ain't fucking finished, man.
That's true. That's
like,
true.
It is so important to understand that. If you are a gamer and you want your games to work,
yeah,
be a conscientious buyer. And the way that I solve this problem, the way that I have solved this problem, is deal with the fact you're not getting your game day one. Rent the fucker. If it's not to your standards or if you don't like it, send it back. If you love it, buy it.
Yeah.
From GameStop. It's really not that complicated. Now, I know that there isn't a service like that over in Europe and in Australia, and I think Canada doesn't have it either. But if you live in the US, GameFly that shit up, yo.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's different methods to attack it. I'll say this real quick, is that there isn't a guarantee that the game's going to be fine or good when it's delayed. And being delayed, yes, there's more time to be spent with the game, more time to fix things that need to be fixed. Doesn't quite mean it's going to be, perfect and okay to go. Or if it's a game that people will remember, because what we learned in the industry is time is money, like many things, and having delayed does cost a lot of money. So it is.
Local Den Chan, I'm not saying don't buy games. I'm not saying just do GameFly. Only do GameFly for the rest of your days. What I'm saying is that understand that if you're getting a AAA title, there's a chance it could be fucked up. But if you rent it through GameFly, if it's fucked up, you don't have to worry about it. Or just take this for example. Let's say a game comes out and it's fucked up, and then immediately they're like, yeah, there's a patch. See if this helps. Well, when you install it, now you're installing the game and the patch by the time you get it.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, that's the way that I've solved the problem. There's another way to solve the problem. Just don't fucking buy games day one.
That's true too.
Wait.
That's very true. But the reason why people are prone to buy games on day one, because they want to be in the conversation. They're hyped up from the ads and from the trailers.
I get that.
And people really want to get the game and they want to get in the conversation. And they
and I get that, but hype is also a big problem.
Yeah.
Definitely. There was a better source, Danny. It was I agree. There was another source. It was called it was called Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Oh my God! Wow, you're bringing that back. Damn.
Well, here's the thing. I used to have GameFly. Like, I had GameFly a long time ago. Hated it because I had to wait a few days for my game to come in when they told me it was being sent out.
Right.
And that's frustrating because they rely on the postal service, and the postal service, that's really where the problem is. Not so much GameFly, because GameFly will send it out pretty frequently, at least as my experience. But I hated GameFly because, like, there were situations where I'd wait fucking... God, it was like 5 days for a game to get to me.
Huh.
And I'm like, how long does it take a game to get from fucking LA to my house?
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
what's frustrating about it is that in Redbox, yeah, absolutely, Redbox is way too limited. But with Blockbuster, they would get games day one. They get like a bunch of copies, and I'd be there as soon as the doors opened on a fucking Tuesday when the game came out and get the game.
Yeah.
I'd have it right away. But unfortunately, that's just not how it works. Like right now, I have an empty spot for Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it's telling me that it'll be sent out on Monday, which is fine because I'll probably get it Wednesday or Thursday. But the other side to that is that I might get it Friday or even Saturday because of the fucking postal service. And it really, really sucks. And I completely agree with you, Danny. There absolutely needs to be a version of Redbox, but for games.
Right, definitely.
You can rent Xbox One and PS4 games from the Redbox right now for like $2 a day. Sure, that seems expensive, but I'd rather have GameFly, which is right now it's $35 a month for 3 games. It's just easier. But I don't know, man. It's just like I said, you have 2 options. If you're really concerned about possible broken games, wait to hear what people are saying. Make your decision based off that. If it's a game that you really just want the story, wait for YouTube. If it's a game that you want to play but you're not in a hurry, go GameFly. I think that there are multiple ways to solve this problem. To tell the game companies, I don't want broken games anymore. I'm not willing to let you know whether or not I want the game based on a pre-order.
Right.
Like there are definite ways to do it. I'm not in any way, shape, or form telling consumers that they're the problem, because that would be bullshit. But as a consumer, you should probably be a little bit more savvy. Instead of just willing to, I don't know, just fork over cash.
Right, definitely.
Like my buddy right now, he does not like Halo 5. He doesn't like the story. I'll get to that later, why there's a problem with the story.
Mm-hmm.
And this, objectively, why there's a problem with the story. He doesn't like the multiplayer because it plays too much like Halo 2, and he didn't like Halo 2. I don't necessarily agree with that per se, but whatever.
Right.
And he's, oh, sorry. He's also, he just doesn't like Halo 5. But he bought it. And now he's stuck with it. Because he can't, he bought the digital copy. So, it's just, there's a lot.
Yep. Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, hang on. You just went mute. Uh-oh, we have a silent great deeds happening. Okay. We have audio.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, you're back? Okay.
My controller, for some reason, my Xbox with this new OS update just keeps disconnecting from my Xbox.
Oh, okay. Weird. Okay, so, let me see if I can get to this. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a match. So, the next topic, and as the, I guess, name of the show, and arguably probably the biggest thing happening this weekend, is BlizzCon. So BlizzCon had a multiple array of announcements happening. A second there. Let me see if I can switch to it.
It's just on me.
Oh, it's on you right now. Okay, let's see if I can switch.
Watch me eat dried fruit.
Oh shit, can't change it. Let's see if I can do this. Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'll just give him the win, maybe. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Let me switch to BlizzCon news. Okay, so we got some BlizzCon stuff. BlizzCon news.
All right.
So, BlizzCon is this weekend. It started yesterday. They had a multiple array of announcements, including Overwatch, including the new Warcraft movie trailer, a tons of stuff. And I'll just run down what were the big announcements that happened in the past 24 hours. So Overwatch was announced for console. It is not a free-to-play game. It's actually going to be $40 at launch for PC. Was it PC, PS4, and Xbox One? They showed a new opening trailer for the new WoW expansion, Legion. They showed a new movie trailer for Warcraft, which was beginning of the announcements. They showed off StarCraft 2 Nova Corp Ops DLC, a kind of backstory to Nova, and these missions that they're kind of expanding with the StarCraft 2 universe, since StarCraft 2 main story is pretty much over. The new Hearthstone expansion called The Adventure of League of Explorers has been announced with new cards, new expansion. But those were pretty much the big announcements. Overwatch did announce some few new characters as well, alongside with the game. But for the past 24 hours, BlizzCon didn't happen, and I've been loving every second of it. So...
I might be more excited if I played more Blizzard games, but...
Right, yeah. So yeah, like...
I have my cousin's there, and he's stoked about it.
Is he really? Fuck. Yeah.
He lives in Oklahoma, and he came all the way over here, all the way over there from whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
For BlizzCon, and I was like, dude, well, if you're in California, and he's like, I'm taking a plane out from... is it in LA?
It's in Anaheim.
Anaheim. It's like I couldn't remember. But yeah, he's taking a plane out from Anaheim, and I'm like, well, go fuck yourself then.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that that Overwatch is coming to console. I did not expect that. I thought it was PC only.
I thought it was a free-to-play game, because from the last couple of games. It looked like it was going to be a free-to-play game.
Well, they might be doing a $40 admission just because it's a bigger game, but it'll play like a free-to-play.
Right, and they showed off like skins that they're going to have in the game, as well. So it's kind of.
If I'm paying money for it, it shouldn't play like, because the thing about free-to-play that I find really funny and interesting is that they all are the same in the regards of like. Sure, you could play this game and put hours upon hours upon hours upon hours into unlocking everything. Where another game like, I don't know, let's say Evolve, is like, no, we have hidden stuff. You just have to play to unlock it, and then it takes like 6 hours to unlock everything.
Right.
I think that, and I say everything in regards to characters and shit. I really don't want... Like, I don't mind, like, hey, you buy the game 5 characters. I don't mind that. And then each character's like a different class type or some shit like that, so you're learning the mechanics of the game. But the second you finish, like, your 3rd match, you should have a whole new set of characters.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way that it should work, where you buy a game versus free-to-play. So, that's what I hope to see. Overwatch looks awesome, and I'm excited to play it. So, I mean... No complaints there. I think it's great that people are getting expansions to games that they love through Blizzard. I also think it's funny that people call it expansions when it's Blizzard, but when it's Activision or EA, it's DLC, bro. Like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, hypocritical dick.
Yep.
That's just me.
Yeah. So, but speaking of Overwatch, like. People have been kind of cautious as far as like the wording and what exactly, and I just lost. GG's. Okay, now I can focus on.
I was wondering why. I knew I had to pick up the fucking the podcast here for a second. I was like, he's playing. I can hear him playing.
Right. That's what I get for entering a tournament at 11 a.m. the same time as the show. Okay, so now I can focus on this more. And now back to me. Okay, so I was gonna say, one of the issues that came up with Overwatch was that let me bring it up right here actually. So people were kind of speculation as far as like if they're not going free to play, does that mean for any future heroes is there gonna be DLC as well? Are we gonna have a format to where the DLC for these characters are gonna be what was it? They're going to be a pay to win. situation.
Why do people use that terminology? I swear to God, people use it and don't understand what it means.
Right. Because I'm thinking more of like the competitive side. If like if a character is hide behind a paywall and it's really good, you know, in an aspect of this game, it would.
Let me ask you a question. If you're developing a game, Anthony,
yeah.
let's say you're the developer and you get to put all the insight that you want into the type of game that it becomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to, in a multiplayer faceted game, are you going to make any OP characters intentional?
Yeah, you would. You would.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because then you can go in and balance it afterwards. It's the same thing in fighting games. Like, they'll put a character that is OP at first, but then they balance it from there.
So you're taking the chance of pissing off an entire group of people because you want to have an OP character in there for a little bit?
Yes. You know, and
that seems backwards, Anthony.
Tell Marvel 3 that. Tell Virgil that.
I did. That's my point. Is you, as somebody who's really into the competitive scene, you're telling me that you would put OP characters in that are unlockable just because that you wouldn't make them balanced?
Well, no, it goes from there. Like, you make them OP, but then you go backtrack and you balance them out later on.
Why is that the method?
Because it's a lot more fun to have characters that are OP, but not just like one, like several, and then kind of figure out, okay, it's like give up them everything and then see what players would do with them, and then scale them back.
But you're taking the chance of losing players.
Was that any different from like? No, okay. Say it's like, you know, Dota 2. Every time they release a new character, or you know, Hearthstone, they release a new card that seems to be really good. But then like that's the method of way.
That's because they haven't balanced it properly yet.
Exactly.
That's all that is.
Exactly.
It's not a. I'm saying a choice, Anthony. I'm not saying a situation where you release it and you're like, "Oops, this character's OP. Better knock him down a peg." I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about straight up like, you have the time, money, and resources to make sure that every character is balanced in the game upon release. Do you do that, or do you release it, let's say, a month, 2 months earlier, and take the chance of having a few characters be OP and pissing off an entire group of people?
Right, but what's to say like the characters you already have in a game are already OP and they just don't know it? Like they do internal testing of this game for sure, but like in terms of like when it's out there in the wild, like
Anthony, you're not. First off, you're not playing a hypothetical correctly. I'm not saying what the logistics and the realistic nature of it is. I'm asking you, would you rather play a game that has no OP characters and everything is perfectly balanced, or play a game upon release that has OP characters that everyone's going to start using just because they're OP, to get it a few weeks early?
So it's like, because I can give you two examples, and I've actually been playing it. Street Fighter 4 is the most balanced game that I've ever played. Like, every character in there doesn't seem to be OP. They seem to be kind of where they are. There definitely are characters that are really good, higher in the tiers than other characters. And there are some characters that were DLC. The arcade edition of Street Fighter 4, you know, included, you know, Yun, Yang, Oni, and Evil Ryu. Those characters were behind a paywall, and characters of those ilk were very good at the very beginning, and then were toned down later as the game evolved into another version of Street Fighter, and bounced later on. And then I can say for OP characters that I have played in, that's Marvel 3 for me. Marvel 3 for me was, I loved the game a lot when it came out. There were just a certain characters that were very, very, very good at the very beginning. You know, Virgil, Zero, Wesker for a bit. Those characters were very good. You know, the only paywall behind those characters in the game was Jill and Shumagarath. And we had no idea how good those two characters were. But reported, you know, Jill was pretty good back in the day. And those characters were very good, and it, in a way, it kind of made me like, you know what? I'm gonna beat your team with my shitty Spider-Man, you know, who may not be as good as your Virgil, but I'm gonna try and do it anyways. But it came down to those same characters every time I watched of those characters being the most dominant ones, and it bored the hell out of me, and that's why I kind of quit the game, because it was the same shit over and over again, combo wise and character wise, until recently it's been changing that a lot. So between the two, I play both. I'd rather play Street Fighter. It's more balanced, but at the same time, like it's fun to have an OP character, you know, here and there. It isn't fun if it's continuing the same thing over and over again, where the same character wins because of the power or the OP of the character is. But you know, as games progress and as, you know, fighting or first-person shooters or any competitive games, there's always enough time for the person to figure out, you know, what exactly can they counter to that character, and if that character has some holes that you can exploit, or you can find things that you can, you know, do against it, you know, players will figure it out. So it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, like, you in a perfect world, you want the most balanced game, but at the same time, you kind of want these characters to evolve to where they're better than other characters, for the sake of, you know.
Okay. So your original comment was people are worried that there's the possibility of an OP character being released as DLC, or a pay-to-win type of character in Overwatch, correct?
Yeah, hide behind a paywall, yeah.
Okay, so first off, this fear of that is just nonsense. Secondly, that how do I say this? The idea that there's a character in Overwatch that could come out that would be DLC and would be more powerful than every other character is nonsense. Because here's the danger that you get into that, and the company knows this. And this goes back to something I was talking about earlier, and that's the game companies, not the developers, but the investors and the publishers don't give a shit if you buy the game. They care about if you keep playing the game.
That's true.
If you're in the game for months and months and months on end. Having a paywall or having a character that is a pay-to-win character because he's so OP would not only do one of two things. Get rid of a bunch of players that were playing the game because they don't have the DLC. And B, they would it would alienate a group of people because they can't afford the DLC.
Agreed.
So that would not work. Ostensibly, from a investor point of view, that is a really, really bad idea. Now, Evolve, and I go back to fucking Evolve because people want to sit there and fucking shit on that game's DLC. That game had it right, and people don't want to fucking see it that way. It had 3 characters for each class right off the bat. Took no time at all to unlock. Any maps or game types that came out after the game's release were free, so that everyone could still play with everyone, because every monster and every new character could be played with people who don't have the DLC, on top of the fact that everything's fucking balanced. And if it was slightly off balance, or if something respawned too quickly, they would make a patch almost instantly. Now, to me, that's how you do it. That's how you get it done for a game where the investors say, we want people coming back and playing this game all the time. We don't want people leaving this game. But also appeasing the fans in the regards of, like, yeah, I can only afford this game. Like, I have a kid, or I have a life, and I can only put like 2 or 3 hours every other day into the game. And you want people to come back and keep playing Overwatch? Do not do that. Do not make a paywall. Do I think that's going to happen? Fuck no. Blizzard's much smarter than that.
Well, here,
sure.
I'll just go off and say this real quickly, because there were some questions about it, and Blizzard was kind of evading the question.
Because they're afraid that if they say, yes, there will be DLC characters, yes, there will be DLC in general, yes, there will be microtransactions for skins and shit, people are going to lose their goddamn mind. like they always do.
I would say the opposite, actually. I would say that microtransactions for skins and hats, whatever, for this game is fine. I think what really...
Yeah, because you're a logical thinking gamer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's not
you
that...
cannot. Can you tell me, Anthony, honestly, that you believe that the gaming community would not be upset if all of a sudden it was announced that microtransactions were in Overwatch?
Actually, no. The reason why I say it is because...
Really?
And here's my reason why. Is because Overwatch is set up, and the comparisons are most gamers will say is that Overwatch to everybody else, the gamers, including me, looks and feels like a TF2. And TF2 does have microtransactions for hats and other things. But the characters were all there, you can buy, certain things and whatnot, even chests to open up items, but, it's kind of a risk-reward type of deal. But from what I've read, people are fine with the microtransactions for skins and whatnot, for the way this game looks and for the game that it's going for. What people are afraid of is like having heroes be behind a paywall, because it's not what they're thinking.
It being a $40 game and not free to play, I don't think there's gonna be any characters behind a paywall.
Right.
Take a game like Smite or another game that is similar in its idea, and no, these characters are not behind a fucking paywall. You can absolutely unlock them by just playing the game. It takes forever because it's a free to play, but I don't think Overwatch is going that route simply because it's not a free to play game.
Right.
And it would kill Overwatch if it did, and I think Blizzard knows that. I mean, if you believe Blizzard doesn't know that, then you're high. That shit, I mean, honestly, like, it would be unbelievable to me. It'd be the biggest fucking, like, stupid move a game company could do if there were characters behind a paywall. Do I believe that there will be microtransactions to the extent of, like, I have not played Overwatch, but I played Battleborn. And on the main screen of Battleborn, you're able to go down and look at all the characters that you have. The game gives you 10, and there are 5 that are locked. Of course, the 5 that are locked are like 99. I'm not supposed to be talking about this and publicly because it's NDA, but fuck it, whatever. It serves my point. There are characters that can be unlocked through paying money that you get in the game. Do I believe that there will be microtransactions to buy those characters earlier? Yes. Do I think this is a bad thing? No. Do I think Overwatch is going to have this? Yes. If there are a slew of characters, they're going to give you 5 or 10 right off the bat. Again, it's like I point out with fucking every other fucking game, and it's like there will be characters that are locked and not locked. But much like the MOBA format, the mobile format, the whatever format in regards to that you want to say, there will be characters that are locked.
Yeah.
Will there be an OP character? Probably, because it's a game with a lot of characters. There will probably accidentally be an OP character.
Right.
But in no way, shape, or form do I think it's a character that is specifically bot only, that the only way you can unlock him is with money. Because gamers would hate that. Gamers would fucking lose their goddamn mind over that. Do I think that... I don't know why I'm asking it like a question. Do I feel that... Why do I keep doing that? I really do think that nobody has anything to worry about when it comes to Overwatch. I don't honestly believe that... I don't honestly believe that Overwatch will go the route of a free-to-play game that is purchased. I really don't. There's an argument being had right now about what a pay-to-win actually is. And if there is an OP character, a character that just decimates everybody, and the only way to unlock him is purchasing, then yes, that's pay-to-win. But if there are characters that are locked through the in-game currency, and then you can buy more in-game currency with real-world money, that's not pay-to-win. That's pay to unlock new characters. That's pay to unlock new shit.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
Do I believe that gamers will get mad about skins and shit? Absolutely, Anthony. You point out TF2, and that this game is like TF2. TF2 had a long life cycle before skins and hats and shit like that.
Right.
Long life cycle before that shit got in there.
Mm-hmm.
The players that had already been playing it were so invested that they didn't make a big stink about it. But I heard a big stink about it. I remember reading people being upset that microtransactions had made their way to TF2. People in general seem to not like microtransactions, but don't really understand the reason or the necessity for microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's as I pointed out before, and people like to kind of shoot this down, but games are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go back to a time when games that were being made for the NES, Super NES, Genesis, those games were about $90 to $100 a pop.
Right.
At the time they said 50 or 60, but if you use inflation, we're paying less today for games than we ever have.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I could argue that in the 90s we're actually paying less than that,
but using inflation, they are more expensive to make now than they were then.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So, back then you had, Mega Man something or whatever, 5, 6, 7 dudes making the game, right?
Yeah.
But the game, cost $100 in the store, inflation purposes.
Right.
$60 in the store, be $100 now. That's ridiculous when you think about a AAA game having like 200 people, 300 people working on it, and it costs $60.
Yeah.
We should not be paying. We should be paying way fucking more for these games, but we don't.
No,
we don't because of laws and standards.
Yeah.
So when a game has microtransactions, first off, 9 times out of 10, you are not forced to buy any of it. I think that what will kill. I don't personally believe. I really don't believe that Blizzard is putting any kind of pay-to-win situation in Overwatch. I truly don't.
Yeah.
I do believe that there will be microtransactions, but it certainly won't be for characters.
Mm-hmm.
It might be to unlock a new character. And if it happens to be that a character is OP because of whatever, I'm sure they'll patch it.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of end this entire conversation on is that, we won't know until the game's released. It kind of seems from my inkling from reading up on what they're saying and their wording of that to that question is like, they don't know if they have to go that route. It may be that Overwatch becomes a huge success and may not have to go to microtransactions. Maybe in the long term, maybe later on. But what do we?
They'll have to go microtransactions, dude. It's an expensive game that's been in development for a very long time.
That's true. You're right, because that shit was.
They've probably lost money on the game. Luckily, Blizzard is also the type of company that they could come out with a talking piece of shit that's a turn-based RPG and people play it.
Yeah.
People buy the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
it's Blizzard.
You're correct on that, and also because the reason why, because that game has been in development for a very long time. Originally, it was like called AE Titan or some sort of code name for like their next MMO. And
let me give you this example, buddy.
Okay.
Because I think that this is important. If I'm not mistaken, StarCraft 2 and Diablo 3 were hallmarked as piece of shit games. That they were terrible upon release. There are still literally hundreds of thousands of people playing those games.
The original?
Spending money. No, I'm talking Diablo 3 and StarCraft 2 with expansions.
I don't think I heard that conversation. Maybe Diablo 3 because it came out online and digital only during that whole escapade. StarCraft 2, the only thing I can remember hearing people were complaining about that game was that the fact that the expansions were, they were set to 3 different expansions at the time, and they were for full price games. So you were paying about, what was it? StarCraft 2.
Oh, the point I'm getting at is I heard a lot of negative for both. I heard a lot of positive for both. I mean, I played Diablo 3, and I ultimately understand why people were frustrated with it because it's like bare bones Diablo, but and why it's StarCraft 2. I remember the biggest complaint was you only get the Terran campaign, you don't get all the other campaigns, and
yeah, but you get the multiplayer though. That was the main key of it though. So, but
the point I'm getting at is that Blizzard is a huge company, and regardless of OP characters, regardless of paywalls, regardless of all that shit, even if all that stuff's in the game, people are still gonna buy it and play it.
Right.
I think ultimately, Blizzard isn't dumb enough to do that because they want to make as much money as possible, and making a lot of money but not a fuck ton of money is not something that they really want to do. They want to make that fuck ton of money. So
yeah, that's true. We can go on for hours about this, but we had to end the show.
it's fine.
But thank you.
I swear to God, that's 90% of what I do on this show is just like, gamers are stupid. Let's play games, guys.
Agreed. So Greg, where can I find you on the internet?
Not that anyone wants to after this episode, but oh, sorry. Whew. Still tired. Find me on Tumblr, Twitter, Tumblr. Why do I fucking say Tumblr every day? Every podcast. No, I have a Tumblr, but I don't ever fucking use it. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram under Chub Rock Geek. You can follow my reviews and articles and stuff like that on this website, Mission Star Podcast. Well, not this website because this is Twitch. But on the Mission Star Podcast site. I haven't done one in a hot minute, though, because I've been busy. But you can also catch my streams Saturday nights on Half Empty Energy Tank. I will not be streaming tonight, however, as we are doing something for my dad's birthday. But if you want to see a bunch of fun people playing Rock Band 4, head on over to twitch.tv/halfemptyenergytank and go ahead and tell them I sent you. And I'm sure they'll be like, hey! But yeah, that's that. That's about it for me.
Awesome. You can follow me personally on Twitter at DefectiveNaruto. You can follow the work that me and Greg do on our website at missionstarpodcast.com. And, the image is gone. Hang on a minute. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So if you enjoy listening to this podcast or video, however you may consume it into your eyeballs and ears, please check it out on iTunes and Stitcher under Mission Start Podcast. It'll be also on our website as well. Guys can go check it out. Also, if you enjoy Convention Talk, if you enjoy our conversation of our past experiences in terms of conventions we just covered, please check out the carnival. We have an upcoming one actually coming up pretty soon on a Kamikaze. The next convention that for some of us are going to be attending at the end of the year, or next month actually, is the Las Vegas, what's it, All-American Comic-Con, I think it's called. So we're going to be headed out there to cover that, and that's going to be our last convention of the year so far. And then if you enjoy comic books, entertainment, movies, all that good stuff, including some video game talk and sometimes some anime, check out the Rolling 20s. They are on our website, the Rolling 20s, on the podcast feeds as well, on iTunes and Stitcher. I've kind of been pretty slow uploading these podcasts on YouTube in terms of the Carnival or the Rolling 20s, but yeah, I'm working on it. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this show. So what's today? Today's the 7th. Okay, so yeah, we will see you guys next weekend. Same time, same place, same gamers we're going to piss off every week. Later.